Today, we're going to peel back the curtain a little bit. We're looking past the splashy headlines at the rumors and stories that are always swirling around some of the biggest names in entertainment. We're going beyond the red carpet to really get into the insane pressure that comes with living your life in the public eye.
I mean, it's a huge question, right? It really gets to the heart of what fame is all about. You've got this constant scrutiny, this pressure to have a flawless persona. So what happens when it all just becomes too much? Let's dive in.
Okay, first up, let's talk about that relentless drive for success. The kind of career ambition that can pretty much take over your whole life, often hidden just behind that glamorous public image.
So take Timothée Chalamet. To the world, he is one of the most celebrated young actors of his generation, period. But the whispers behind the scenes, they suggest a totally different reality. An actor who's reportedly crashing out under the massive, massive pressure to win an Oscar.
And what's wild is how specific these rumors are. Sources are claiming he's seriously mad about the idea of not winning an Oscar while he's still in his 20s, especially with heavy hitters like Leonardo DiCaprio in the race. It really paints this picture of an insatiable need for the spotlight, with some people even saying he's using his very high-profile relationship to help his awards campaign.
Now that kind of intense professional pressure, it can show up in a lot of different ways. While Chalamet's supposed struggle is all about his career, for Stranger Things star David Harbour, the pressure seems to have played a part in a really deep personal crisis.
Harbour has been really open about having bipolar disorder and being a recovering alcoholic. But recently, reports have come out detailing some increasingly strange behavior, things like stealing a hat at a bar and other weird public run-ins. It all apparently led to a blind item, one of those anonymous gossip pieces, alleging that after he was arrested, he was placed on a 72-hour psychiatric hold. It's just a really stark reminder of the private battles so many public figures are fighting.
And that leads us perfectly into our next big topic, the incredible weight of keeping up a public image, where every single detail, no matter how tiny, gets put under a microscope. For a rising star like the rapper Ice Spice, this scrutiny has been laser-focused on her physical appearance. I mean, it feels like from the moment she hit the mainstream, the conversation has been less about her music and way more about how she looks.
And the critiques get so specific. You have people online just picking apart her face, looking for signs of bad plastic surgery, Botox, or fillers. Her fashion choices get torn to shreds, like an outfit she wore to a SpongeBob premiere that people called inappropriate. And look, the judgment goes beyond just her looks. Even her speech was called shy and weird, which just goes to show that every single part of how she presents herself is considered fair game.
And believe me, this focus can get almost absurdly specific. For Miley Cyrus, a huge topic of conversation online has been, of all things, her teeth. Yeah, her dental work has been tracked by the public with unbelievable detail. An older set of veneers she had was widely criticized online for being too big for her smile and mouth. After she got them changed more recently, the new public opinion is that her smile looks fresher, younger, and suits her face. It's a pretty wild and maybe a little unsettling example of how a celebrity's body is treated like this public project that's just open for constant feedback.
So far we've been talking a lot about rumors and public perception, but now we're going to shift gears a little bit. We're going to move on to a story that goes way beyond speculation and into a really powerful, first-hand account of the mental health struggles that can come with living in the spotlight. Lady Gaga has always been an open book, but the way she's talked about her mental health gives us some really crucial context for understanding the pressures other stars might be facing in silence. Her story isn't a rumor. This is her testimony. So one of the key things she's described is something called dissociation. And just to make sure we're all on the same page, dissociation is a mental experience where a person feels disconnected from their own thoughts, feelings, even their own sense of who they are. It's often the brain's way of coping with really overwhelming trauma.
And just listen to how powerfully she described what this felt like. In her own words, "I began to notice that I would stare off into space and black out for seconds or minutes. My brain was protecting me." Wow. It's such a chilling and direct account of the mind literally trying to shield itself from pain it can't handle.
And for Gaga, these mental health struggles weren't just in her head, they started to show up physically. It all progressed into chronic pain, really severe panic attacks, and these acute trauma responses. She revealed in an interview that this whole period of her life actually led to a diagnosis of psychosis, a condition where she said she felt she wasn't in touch with reality for a while.
And this, right here, is maybe the most powerful takeaway from her story. Looking back, she said, "I wish there had been a system in place to protect me and guide me, a system in place to empower me to say no. It's more than just a wish. It's a critique of an entire industry that so often fails to give artists the basic mental health support they desperately need.
So, after hearing all these different stories, from the career pressure to the physical scrutiny to these deep mental health battles, what does it all tell us? What are we actually seeing when we look at these stars?
Well, you start to see these threads connecting everything. You see the pressure for success fueling personal crises. You see the nonstop judgment of someone's appearance chipping away at them. And running through all of it is that incredibly thin, fragile line between the public persona and the real, vulnerable person who's actually behind it all.
And that really leaves us with one final thing to think about. When we read these stories and we talk about them and we form our own opinions, are we really seeing these people for who they are? Or are we just looking into a mirror and seeing a reflection of our own expectations, our own desires, and our own judgments? It's something worth considering the next time a big headline catches your eye.